Good morning, and it's match day, Arsenal fans, match day. And to guess who I've got here on match day is the man himself. Who else? No better fan out there than this my Kenny Ken. How are you, Kenny?
I'm very excited about the match today. There's been a lot of football. I'm glad it's been a lot of football this weekend. But same problems, same controversies. We had a very strange decision at Villa Park where the referee gives a good penalty, and then he goes to the monitor and he disallows it. And then we had the same situation a few hours later at Old Trafford where the referee gives West Brom a penalty, then he just disallows it because he thinks Fernandes has got part of the ball, and then Man United get a good penalty, and then the goalkeeper's encroached, and then he has another chance to put the ball in the net. So, it's one of those things where football.
The Man United one, I've watched it again and again, but actually, I think he actually got that right because did he get the ball first?
He got the ball first. He got the ball first. He actually didn't catch him. He actually didn't catch him. The only thing he caught was the ball. So people might talk about, biasness towards Man United and conspiracy theories and cheating, but we're only saying that because they want to see that. If that been England match.
Where does this follow through rule then apply? When they say if you follow through, though, it's a foul.
I don't know. They're probably going to do it next year because people are complaining. Because you look at the Villa game, it was blatantly obvious that Solly Marsh got the ball first before he took out Trezeguet. So it was actually a tackle, and Trezeguet's fallen, and he's actually taken Trezeguet accidentally, but he's gone over. Referee's given a penalty, but when I saw the replay, I thought, the referee might have to chalk this off. The same thing when I saw the situation with Gallagher and Fernandes, where Fernandes has gone for a tackle. Should never probably have done it, but he actually didn't make contact with Gallagher. What he did is that the only thing he caught was just a little bit of the ball. So I expect the referee to call that to actually.
Kenny, I'm confused, Kenny. Right, if that's up the pitch, right, further up the pitch on the halfway line, let's say, and he wins the ball and he then follows through. Is that a foul?
Well, the reason why it's a foul is because it's a phase of play. He's trying to stop a different phase of play. So, like for instance, if say I've tackled you and the ball's broken free, you can still get up and go, and I've fouled you again. That's the phase of play. But in a penalty area, what's happened is that because there's only people in the box, you can clear those are the rules. They actually got the ball. Was the initial? When it comes to a penalty, it's about initial contact, where it's not the situation in any area of the pitch because you've got the contact. There's another phase of play. In the penalty area, a foul happens, the referee spots it, boom.
Yeah, sorry, I've lost him. As mine.
Yeah, sorry.
I lost you, mate. Sorry, mate. I lost you there.
And you got me again?
Yeah. Sorry, mate. I think it's my end. I've got problems at my end. Sorry. Your last bit is that explain is it's a foul. If it's at the halfway line, it's a foul. But if it's on the penalty box, it's not a foul.
Well, because what's happened, right, is that you look at the situation, right? When say I've tackled you, right, and then you try to get away, that's another phase of play. But when the incident happens, the referee's blowing the whistle. So when he's blowing the whistle, there isn't a phase of play. So he has to make his decision. And then what they would have said to the referees at Villa Park and at Old Trafford, they would have said, right, can you have a look at it again? Because you stopped the game and you said that there's been contact, but we're saying we're not too sure because we think that the player's got a couple of part of the ball, but it's your decision to go and have a look at it. So the one at Villa Park, Solly Marsh has got the ball first and taken him out. But when the guy's gone over, there isn't a phase of play because the referee stopped the game. So he has to go down and decide if it was a mistake. The same thing with Gallagher and Fernandes. He's looked at the situation. He now has to say, was there actually enough contact for Gallagher to go down? And then if he sees that Fernandes has played part of the ball, then he has to. Then it's within his right to change his decision. Doesn't have to, but he if there's doubt in the referee's mind about giving a penalty, then he has to change it. He has to be 100% sure now, because TV monitors are all over the place. Managers are critical. Players are going to have a go, and the pundits in the dressing room, the pundits in the studios, are the worst ones. They're the ones who put probably the biggest pressure on referees everywhere all the time, because they play decisions, replay, and then referees are going to think, you know what, we're going to stay safe now. We're not going to give these penalties, or we're going to give these penalties because of the laws of the game. Like Spurs yesterday, they benefit from a VAR decision, but against Newcastle, about like 7 weeks ago, everyone was complaining. Everyone was saying, "Oh, even Arsenal fans going, oh, that's unfair."
Can I? Sorry, just before this goes off my screen. Sorry, mate. It's a super chat coming from Zane. He says, Claude, with Spurs winning, and if Arsenal lose today, what a rubbish birthday it will be for me today. Listen, don't think. First of all, it's funny enough today. Happy birthday, mate. Happy birthday.
Zach. It's my brother's birthday as well today.
And do you know who else's birthday it is today? It's my dad's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Mr. Calgary.
Yeah, it's his birthday today as well. So we're all celebrate all birthdays today. And Zane, listen, happy birthday, mate. Have a good day. Enjoy it. Thank you for the super chat. Enjoy the birthday. I think you'll have a good birthday today. I think we'll win today. I think Leeds will. The way Leeds play, I think will suit us today, and I think we'll be back to winning ways. But thanks for the super chat, and have a great day, mate. Have a really great day. So Kenny, sorry, mate. Hold on a minute. Let's get this out of the way. So, how can I say it? Yeah, it's very confusing, and to me, this why I don't want this VAR, because.
Well, you have to have it. You can't.
I think we need to go back to the old days, mate, where we have to rely on what the referee sees at the time. What if it goes for you, it goes against you, it evens out at the end of the season.
Yeah, but you've got a problem with that, Claude. You can't put the genie back in the bottle, because the simple reason now is that players now know the handball rule off by heart now. They now know if it's lower down the arm, they're going to demand a penalty, even if the player doesn't mean it.
Sorry, by the way, Kenny, before I forget what I'm going to say, I thought that if it hits you on the high up in the arm, it's not handball.
I think what's happened, they're looking at they reckon that up here isn't the arm, but they think that certain lower down, if you go past sort of the bicep lower down to the hand, that counts as handball. And I think what's happening now is that you're saying get rid of VR and just go back to basics. The problem is that the genie's out of the bottle now, in terms of the fact that we had VAR in the first place because managers were getting into trouble because of decisions they didn't like, because referees were getting harangued, and it's more the media. They've always said we want the same thing as rugby and cricket. Now they've got it. They've got it now, so they're going to have to look at it. The referees ain't the problem. I think the problem is that the game is so quick, and managers now, despite what Steve Bruce and all these managers say about, we wouldn't want a penalty like that. Well, they will want a penalty like that because they've got one and they're going to expect it all the time. So I think VAR is here to stay.
Well, wasn't Jesus' one? Wasn't it here?
No. I think the trouble with what happened with Jesus is that when the cross went in from Rodri, Jesus is what Jesus has done is that his natural instinct was to actually go for the ball, but you can actually see movement with the part of his arm. All right, it might have hit his left his heart sort of thing, but it's the way the arm went. That's why I thought, you know what, it's getting chopped off this goal. That's why I think the referee got it properly right. But therein lies the problem. The problem we've got now is that if we watch games, right, especially some certain Carling Cup games and international games which you don't like, there isn't VAR. But you're thinking, oh, if only we had VAR, they would have got that decision right. So you're going to get the same thing with if we do scrap VAR, when decisions we don't like, where referees made a daring mistake, we're going to be asking for VAR to come back.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I can see I can see your point, Kenny, but it's really getting frustrating now that even now even the VAR seems to be getting it wrong as well. So,
well, remember, yeah, you got to remember one thing, right? The most important person when it comes to like handball decisions and penalties is the referee. The referee was the one who made at the end of the day, made the decision at White Hart Lane. He's the one who made the decision at Old Trafford. He's the one who made the decision at Villa Park. It was him who made that decision, albeit with a bit of guidance, but it was still his decision.
Yeah. Just want to say, yeah, just going through these comments here, mate. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Let's move on. As for that game itself, Kenny, a lot of people I've had a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's a masterclass from Mourinho," and there are other people saying that I wouldn't want my team to be playing like that. And there are. How did you see that game yesterday? Would you say that was a masterclass from Mourinho there? I mean,
not really. I think Man City. I think one guy marked on Twitter, and he actually had a good point that Man City represent Arsenal after you know what I call Barcelona, where they played all the football, and it was Spurs who cleaned up. And let's face it, if you look at the two goals, Edison was shooting there. Edison actually wants to. He made up Son and Cancelo's minds up with both of those goals. There was no need for Edison to come out for both of those goals. He don't come out. Then the striker's got to make the decision, and then he has to have a shot on goal. And then now the first goal, Edison has three. All right, Edison's panicked because Swan's had that space, right, and he thinks, right, let me make myself big. But he didn't really have to do that because he had defenders who could have got in and made the interceptions. By coming out for that first goal, he's made Son's had an easy decision to put it through his legs. The same with Cancelo. But if you look at Man City, they knocked on the door. But if you look at the thing, the way Kevin De Bruyne was putting in his crosses, you would have thought, well, you know what? A striker of about 6'2" would have been there, because I think the problem with where Man City are playing, like Arsenal played before, and that when Spain got found out, is that when you play these small and technically gifted players, yes, you're going to get a lot of possession. Yes, you're going to create some good chances. But in the last third, because you haven't got someone powerful to hold the ball up or get in front of defenders, you're going to struggle to score goals. And what will happen is that teams will find you easy to defend against. Like, they're going to header out all your crosses. They're going to make the right sort of put the right bodies in front of you. And then what will happen is on the other side of the field, they're going to hit you on a counter-attack. And I think that's what used to happen to Arsenal. And that's what happened to Spain in 2014. And that's what happened to Man City yesterday. There was a definite size difference between Spurs and Man City. If you look at it, with the exception of Rodri and maybe De Bruyne, all of their players are small and gifted, small, technically gifted players. But Spurs, you had monsters in there. You had people like Højbjerg, big lad, Dyer, big lad, Sissoko, big lad, Ndombele's quite a big lad as well. They had power. So what they did is that they used their power and athleticism on the counter-attack and win that football match. And that's what teams are going to do until they get Aguero back, because Jesus is too lightweight for me, and until they get Fernandinho back. Man City are going to be very easy to play against.
Yeah, I noticed that last night. I mean, yeah, they were poor, Man City, I've got to say, but I hate to say it because I'm an Arsenal fan to give them any credit, but I'm going to say it as I see it. And I have to say it's the way I think Tottenham made them play like that, because the way Tottenham played and everything stopped them.
Yeah, but if you look at Tottenham over the last few games, if you go back to the Champions League first leg, in the quarterfinals. Spurs played exactly the same sort of blueprint where they won 1-0 and managed to win on the away goals. And the season afterwards, when Boy and Song got the goals, again, it's the same sort of thing, the same blueprint. You play the football, but we got the players to clinical strikers to actually win the game, and then we got the players to with the mindset to defend and hold what we got, and that's what they did. It makes it ridiculously easy to play against, to a certain extent that if Man United, as much as you criticise Man United played them at the Etihad Stadium, Man United would murder them, because even though Man United struggle to break teams down at Old Trafford, away from home, if you look with Man United, they are soaking up pressure, but they know full well with players like Fernandes, Rashford, Martial, players with quick feet and good movement, they're gonna murder teams away from home.
Yeah.
And Man City will be casualties. Liverpool must be thinking, what the hell happened there? Liverpool murdering them until they ran out of steam. Liverpool should have battered them in the first half.
Yeah. Well, I don't know whether he was covering up, but at the end of the Pep was saying at the end that he thought it's just a matter of time. He says he thought the team just didn't have the luck on the day, but I think he's been a bit...
He's right. He is right. They didn't have the luck on the day, but the problem is that teams, you're not going to get the luck on the day because teams know how to defend against Man City, and they're not going to pick on the weaknesses. Like, for instance, you know, if your defenders play that high line, and you're spending so many times occupied in attacking positions, you're going to find, without Fernandinho, teams are going to play through you, and they're going to use your strengths against you and turn it into your weaknesses. And that's what's been happening.
There's another super chat. Kenny, what do you think of Argentina beating who? New Zealand.
Oh, in rugby, yeah. No, it was. Is he talking about the rugby? We must be talking about the rugby. Yeah, that was last week. The All Blacks won the Bledisloe Cup. They actually destroyed Australia in the first two games, and Australia won the last game in the Bledisloe Cup. And then Argentina took out the All Blacks as well. Argentina are a very good rugby team. They have been for a good few years. The World Cup in 2015, I believe Argentina got the semi-finals where they lost to Australia. And Argentinian rugby, they, you know, is at a massive strength now. Big strength. They've got a lot of good coaches from all over the world, especially from the Southern Hemisphere, and they're producing good, excellent rugby players who are actually playing in European leagues, playing in France, playing in Ireland, and they're playing in Wales and England. So Argentine rugby is definitely a strength. The All Blacks are still going to be a great side. I think what the All Blacks done is fatigue as well. I think what's happened is that, you know, sometimes if you, like I said, play 80 minutes rugby against the All Blacks, you'll prevail. They would lose the odd game, but overall, the All Blacks are still the best team of all time.
Yeah, I agree. Good morning, Connor, by the way. Yeah, good morning, everyone. We've been busy this morning. I haven't got round to you. Good morning to everyone in the chat as well. Diego, I see there's not normal ones. Dean, Barger. Anyway, all of you in the chat, good morning. 1 minute. Yeah, so anyway, but Ian Wright is finally on this one. Ian Wright has said Tottenham are title contenders. Do you agree with him, Kenny?
Well, the thing about it is that Ian Wright, like I said, obviously he's played football, so he would know the situation. The questions you asked, what makes the team title contenders? Have they got goal scorers? Yes. Is their midfield strong enough? Yeah, I think so. Defensively, are they up for it? Yeah, I think so. They defend well as a team. And have they got a goalkeeper that can save them a few points for experience? And you say yes. But for me, I think Chelsea are a better team than them. I think if you looked at Chelsea...
Big game next week, isn't it? Big game next week.
Yeah, big game next week. But you look at Chelsea, I saw the game against Newcastle, and I can categorically say, with Ziyech, Havertz, Werner, 3 excellent signings, and also... If he's kind of sorted out at the back with getting Thiago Silva, but I thought yesterday Rudiger was brilliant as well, and Zuma played well as well, and plus they got a goalkeeper. He's got a goalie he can trust. Plus, he's got some really good players. He's got some good wing backs and full-backs. I think Chelsea are probably a little better than me than Tottenham. And I think next week's game will be a title side. And it breaks my heart, really, because, you know, one guy, a Chelsea fan who does one of the fan shows, he was spot on when he said, Chelsea and Spurs going for the league, Arsenal setting for the Europa League Conference star football. And it speaks volumes. It's really hard to watch. But, you know, football's football. When you, as proper football, you can't call yourself a football fan, a genuine football fan, and just say, well, you know, it's all about Arsenal. You have to be, in order to appreciate how good Arsenal are, you have to be able to look at other teams and see what makes them tick, because you are going to play them eventually. So I can't help but see where Ian Wright is coming from. I can't criticise him for it because the numbers don't lie. But it's only 9 games. But I think within 9 games, you kind of know the teams that you know are going to do well this season. Like, there's a big game today at Anfield between Leicester and Liverpool. People say Liverpool are threadbare, but, you know, Liverpool, you know, Salah's not playing, but Jota can't stop scoring. So they've already replaced that situation, and they still got Mane and Firmino. Plus, all right, Henderson might not be struggling, but they still got a strong midfield. All right, defenders, you know, Alexandre might be playing, but, you know, that's a chance for someone else. You know, maybe think, but it's still Liverpool at Anfield. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll go on to also, what I was going to say, we've really gone past it. I was going to talk about the Chelsea game, but you've actually summed it up, really. Comfortable performance. If I've got anything, little criticism, I thought they could have been more clinical, but having said that, 2-0 away from home, I think is a good scoreline, and
I think you got to feel
good. They look good, but as I say, the big test for Lampard and all the rest of it, and the Chelsea team and all the rest
next week
is not another big test. Is when it comes to the last couple of months of the season. That's
the thing is he has to keep all those players fit. You know what I mean? He has to make sure he keeps his wing backs fit as well.
Different pressure going into the last 2 months.
But he needs to keep like players like James fit, and he needs to keep Chilwell fit as well. But the thing about it with Chelsea yesterday is that there's actually a room for Giroud in that team, to be honest. But the trouble is that Tammy Abraham's got the movement and everything, and he's looking for he likes his younger players, Lampard. But with playing Werner on the sort of left-hand side of the three, that enables there is room for centre forward. But I think with Giroud, he holds the ball up. Because he holds the ball up, he's accurate, he's passing. He can actually move the ball quicker as well because his technique's good. So, you know, Giroud may be thinking, bloody hell, I can't get this team now, even though Werner's playing on the left. But saying that, Chelsea should have won about 4 or 5-0. No one have complained about that at all. No one have complained.
Oh, I've got another super chat in there. Sorry. The scumbags winning the league will ruin football. Well, yeah. Listen, mate. I'm not going to go into I don't want to go into all this name calling, but we'll say is it wouldn't look good. It wouldn't look too good for us, would it? If they did win the league, it'd be a nightmare.
It just shows how far Arsenal are behind. If Spurs win the league, it just shows that, and that's the thing. You know, it's just we're actually well behind because what's happened? We've been reduced to celebrating the fact that we got a golden trophy.
And he took over at the same time as Arteta, didn't he? Roughly, only about a month before Arteta took over. So,
well, I'll say it once and I'll say it 1,000 times. The football club were courting Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho was watching some of our Europa League games. He was a guest of Raul Halani. Arsenal Football Club did make an approach with Jose Mourinho, but they wanted more time. Jose Mourinho, Spurs realised the fact that we'll go for Mourinho, and then they sat their manager because they knew Mourinho was available now, and got him before us because we were caught with him. Now that's factual. Any Arsenal fan who says that me and you are disgraced for wanting Mourinho, and Lee's a disgrace for wanting Mourinho, and Curtis is a disgrace for wanting Mourinho, and FK's a disgrace for wanting Mourinho, look at the facts. As much as we wanted Mourinho, We weren't the ones who made the approach to Jose Mourinho. The Arsenal Football Club made the approach to Jose Mourinho. How about having a go at Josh Kroenke and the club for doing it, rather than having a go at fans who still think Mourinho's a great manager? And that goes for Terry, who's Terry Davis, who's a bankers. He said he wants something fresh. Well, we've got something fresh, and at the moment it's gone stale tell. All right? We're not talking about Jose Mourinho. We're not talking about Unai Emery. But the fact of the matter is, it's not working at the moment. But hopefully, with 29 games left, you're proved right, Terry, because it's good for Arsenal if you are proved right.
A lot of people are saying,
fail.
Kenny, would you accept Mourinho's style of football, though?
What style of football? Let me tell you something about Arsenal, right? And let me tell you some facts, all right? Facts about Arsenal Football Club over the last 40 years. 40 years ago, we were a cup side. And we were called Negative Boring Arsenal under Terry and Donnell. And then George Graham came along. He gave the youngsters a chance. And then we started playing expansive, long ball, long passes, attacking front through, direct style of play, which was successful. And then when we lost our midfield and our wingers, we became boring Arsenal, 1-0 to the Arsenal. That was our style of play. And then Wenger came along and he started making us like the Carling Globetrotters, where we won everything except for the European Cup. And then when Cesc Fabregas was discovered and came in the side, we became Barcelona. And then after we've got Sanchez and Ozil, Barcelona was ripped up to basically anything goes football. So for people to say the style of play and Arsenal got a way of playing, it's absolute bullshit. It's bullshit. Bullshit. There's no such thing as anyone having a style of play, because our style of play has evolved from boring Arsenal to the Harlem Globetrotters under Arsenal, to Arsenal, to this garbage we're seeing. So it doesn't. If Mourinho comes along, it'll be his style of play. It'll be our style of play. But if it wins, it wins. So stop bullshitting and rewriting history, Arsenal fans.
How can anyone? I remember someone saying, "Oh, the boring stuff under Graham, right?" And when they compare Arteta to George Graham, and say, "Oh, the boring style of George." How can anyone call a side that has Limpar, Rocastle, Paul Merton, and Paul Davis? How can anyone suggest a side like that is boring? I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe I don't understand. I think. Maybe some people think winning football is boring. Winning football is boring. That's what.
No, I think what's happened, right, is that Arsenal fans, because a lot of them Arsene Wenger was here for 22 years, and they're used to this sort of panache and everything. But it doesn't work like that. I remember the Tottenham sides when I was growing up as a kid. They were like the evolution of the Bill Nicholson sides of the 1961 double team, the push and run sides. And Berkenshaw tried to play good football, and then all of a sudden they were trying to play that. Oh, let's let the horses run wild. Then Jerry Francis, they're very direct. Under George Graham, they're very hard to beat and defensively minded. So you telling me that they had their particular style of play? Style of play depends on the manager you have at the football club, and if it wins, then that becomes your style of play. Style of play in football is temporary, right? The most sustained style of play, right, was when it was at Liverpool, where they played the pass the nearest man, and at Man United, where they played with wingers. But Liverpool now play rock and roll football under Jurgen Klopp, and Man United did not play the football that was successful under Alex Ferguson, where they played the inspirational winger style of play. They don't play that way under Solskjaer. Did it play that way in the Moyes and anywhere else? Yeah.
Sorry, King. I've got a super chat and it's just nearly gone off my screen. It's from Strict Bear. It says, "We all know deep down Chelsea own London, but if Spurs win North London, for Arsenal fans will be a horrid place to live."
Well, yeah.
If Chelsea win, it won't make so much difference to Arsenal fans. But if Tottenham win it, it won't be a nice place to live.
But you know the thing is, Claude, right? We kind of running out of excuses, aren't we? When Spurs were at that kind of semi-successful period under Pochettino, we were the better team because we won trophies, and they're not at our level. They're still not a big club. But when they got the Champions League final now, everyone was shitting themselves because the reason why they were scared is because they thought, you know what, we can't say nothing. They've won. They've done it before us. We would have gone silent. Now they win the league. We got silent. We got nothing to fight back with. So what will happen now is that Arsenal fans will be expelled from the fan base if they dare say anything other than the truth. I.e., oh, you're not an Arsenal fan now. Oh, you might as well go and support Tottenham because they won the league now. You're deserting us now. You can't say nothing, blah, blah. We're still the biggest team in North London because we won more trophies than them. That argument is threadbare. And that's all to do with the wrong decisions we make. We were making the wrong decisions with managers we appoint, and we're making the wrong decisions with teams we select.
Anyway, moving on for a while. Quickly go through the other games. Aston Villa beat Arsenal last week. Next week they've gone back to work. I thought it was quite a good game, actually. I watched that game yesterday. And,
yeah, same. I was in that game. Do you think, Claude, that when Bartley went off, they kind of lost a bit of their sort of attacking impetus?
Yeah. Once Barkley went off, that was the big thing. But I didn't even, you know what? I didn't notice he weren't. I thought he was off it altogether because I was drifting in and out of the game a lot, and I saw the second half, most of the second half. And I thought, what's he doing? How comes he's not playing today? That's why they've gone wrong. And apparently they got off. He must have come off quite early in the game or something, isn't it?
Yeah, he came off in about 5 minutes, and Traore came on. And I think what's up with Vassar?
That's why I missed it. That's why I missed it because I saw him in the stands. I saw him in the stands, sitting in the stands, and I think, hold on, why? Because he didn't feature for England, did he?
No, not at all. I think, but I think what's happened right now is that
that's why I thought there must be.
But no, it's not that. It's that the problem Bartley's got is that he went to bloody Chelsea, couldn't get regular games, and then other players have taken over for him. Players like Mount, Grealish, there's they were using Hudson and Doy before him, and that's a problem. He's going to find it very difficult to get in that England squad. He's going to need regular games because at the end of the day, everyone's talking about Grealish and Mount. Hang on here. What about Sterling and Rashford? They still to come back.
But this is where I disagree with England because they're picking players formed for their. But why not pick up 2 players that play together week in, week out, which is a good combination? Wouldn't that be better? Look, I remember with this situation with the England team, right? Individually, right? As a collective unit, the Arsenal back floor was laud for years, wasn't it? Never played together for England, did they?
Yeah, the thing about England, though, the thing you've got to look at it this way, logically, and you look at any national team club.
It's a unit. I'm saying it's a unit.
You say it's a unit, but the England manager has to pick the best players in the country, i.e. the best players for that particular position. Now, he may think that, all right, logic says play them as a unit and play these 2 strikers together with these 2 midfielders together. However, he has to ask himself, are they the best players individually in that position? Because I want the best players individually in that position, and then I'm going to work my system around
players as individual or as a unit, players as a team unit. I get where you're coming from, Kenny, but what I'm saying,
I hear
you look at that successful Italian team. 7 or 8 or 9 players come from Juventus. Yeah, in the past. Yeah, 7.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
right. And I think
even the same Bayern Munich. Same with Bayern Munich. Yeah.
That's what I mean. There's a unit. There's a unit there.
I think what it is, right, is that I think what it was is that the teams you're talking about in terms of like Juventus, the successful teams in when they won the World Cup in '82, there was a good fulcrum of players from Juventus and Internazionale. Players like like you had players like Rossi for Juventus. You had players like Zoff as Juventus and other players like. But there also has players for Internazionale like Bergkamp, 18 years old. He was an Internazionale.
Yeah, I'm not saying the whole team, but I'm saying the unit.
But you look at West Germany when they're successful. A lot of their teams players played for Bayern Munich and won European Cups with Bayern Munich that season the year before. So you have got a point. But again, it's how they play. Like if it depends if the national side plays the same style of play as the club sides, then obviously 100% you're going to do that. But you know, trouble is, right, with England, especially under Southgate, he's muddled. He seems, you know what I think with Southgate? I think he's panics because he's got so many options available, so many players who are actually playing well in the Premiership and doing a bit in Europe, that he actually can't cope with the fact that he's got so many players to choose from. Because, you know what I mean? It's like he's thinking, oh, I've got all these players, but then again, I've got Sterling, Rashford and Kane and all those guys. And then we've got Calvert-Lewin. Oh, no, stop. There's too many players, you know, who are basically putting their hand up. I can't cope with this. And you can tell with his team selections, he can't cope. Trust me, if England don't do well in the Euros, it'll be on him, down to win. Not the players, down to win, because he's got the players.
By the way, match of the day, you did get it wrong yesterday, by the way, because apparently match of the day picked their matches in order of what sort of games they are and what the best games that have been. And I thought the Villa game was the best game out of the lot.
Sure, yeah.
So,
to be honest
with you, the Tottenham game, all right, weren't a bad game, but it was nowhere near as good as the Villa game.
Yeah, but it's a big name game. It's a big name game.
The best game first, didn't they? Normally,
no. Well, yeah. Come on. If there's loads of controversy, right, and there's loads of goals, and actually, of course, they're going to do it. But if it's like Man City and Spurs, a big game against one of the big six, that was always going first, wasn't it?
Hold on. So, are you telling me, right, that if that was a 0-0 and hardly anything happened, that would have been put first on? It wouldn't, would it? Because I remember.
Hey, bet you any money.
First game on that Sunday match of the day wasn't the first game.
Yeah, Man United, Chelsea. If it was 0 for Man City, the top two, it would have been on first, despite the fact it's a ball fest. Biggest teams in the country.
I thought the match of the day had a policy that you might be right, mate. But I thought that Villa game was probably the better, and the last game of the day was the worst game I've seen. Was a really awful game to watch.
Yeah, mate. Again, it's all about Solskjaer, isn't it? When Man United might as well have 75,000 fans there because they're nervous at home, even in empty stadiums. Like they're scared. Solskjaer's scared of losing at Man United. He's actually more negative than he is away from home. Like. For instance, he's playing West Brom, the worst team in the Premiership in terms of points total, and he's still playing Fred and McTominay in midfield to try and stop West Brom's runners from making spaces.
And I did see Terry was shouting his head off, going as if he had enough of United, and they just won the game. But that shows you, doesn't it? Even if you win, it doesn't mean you can't complain as well.
Yeah, but yeah, it's I think with Solskjaer as well is that Man United clearly because of the club their size, they want a big name manager, and they've gone for this guy. And I think we're having the same sort of situation at Arsenal where we want a big name manager. We want a big name manager. We've got someone.
Sorry, Kenny.
Solskjaer. No, he won't because they're not challenged for the league. And Man United have to win the league seriously. And he'll be a casualty to that. He can win the Champions League and he'll still be gone.
Sorry if I interrupted you, Kenny, because there's a bit of a thing with us. I don't know.
No problem. No.
Anyway, Kenny, let's move on to 1 minute. I'm going to get this thing up now. I want to get this thing up now. And let's move on a bit. 1 minute, Kenny. I'll be... where is it gone? Where is it gone? And it's what it is, Kenny. Well, I can't find it, but anyway, the expected team today, Kenny. How would you go today? Would you go with the 3-4 because it's Leeds and they're a really attacking side? Would you stick with this 3-4 or would you change it?
Well, I think the thing is right is that one thing Leeds. If Bielsa, I don't. If Bielsa's the coach, I think he is. He's going to change things a bit But if he's stubborn, then he's going to play right into our hands. Because if you look at Leeds, right, they're very strong down their right-hand side. Now, if you look at us defensively, that's where we're at our strongest down our left-hand side. You know, if you look at it, Leeds, you've got Ayling and you've got Helder Costa. That's where Leeds do a majority of their attacks. Down the left-hand side now, that's where, you know, they rely on a lot of play, you know, Dallas to come on his right foot, put crosses in. And that's not where they see a lot of their strengths. You know what I mean?
If you look at this, if you see, look, this is how they think Leeds will line up with the 4-1-2-2. One. Look, you see that the way their team is set up there. That's how they think they'll set the Leeds up. So to counter that, do you think he'll go like this, or do you think
it's set in stone? It's absolutely set in stone. It's set in stone. And then what will happen is that it's going to be a reliance on. It's going to be personally. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised because Leeds is so strong down their right hand side. Don't be surprised if Saka gets left out and Ainsley Maitland-Niles plays, because that's where Leeds are at. They play their best football. Ayling, bombing down continuously for 90 minutes down the right hand side. Helder Costa, you know, cutting inside with his left foot, putting crosses in for Bamford to go into. You look at a lot of Leeds' good football. It's always down that down that right hand side. So I don't think Saka, and I say it's a great respect to him, gives us enough protection in defensive areas, in those areas. Don't get me wrong, he's getting better because playing in England and playing there when Chilwell was injured is giving him that experience where he's learning the game. But I still think that if you really want someone to actually stop those runs from Ayling, Ainsley Maitland-Niles is going to be our best bet today. So
hold on, then again, having said that, why not play? So you've got Saka there. You can see on the screen there with my pointed to Saka there. Why not play Maitland-Niles there? Play Saka further up and switch Aubameyang to the middle. Yeah, and have Pepe there instead of. If you look at my team, I think the team today is going to be like obviously Leno in goal. Then he's going to play like David Luiz. David Luiz is holding it. David Luiz. Well, I heard he's had a baby today, isn't he? He's had a kid. Congratulations, David. Who has?
David Luiz. I heard he's had a baby this weekend or something. So I don't know if he does play. I hope he does play. But but it's going to be like the. I think unless he has to feed the baby, I don't see why he can't play. Well, anyway, you sound like Roy Keane. But anyway, David.
No. Let's get this right, Kenny. If he's at the moment, if she's in labour, then I can expect him to be in the hospital. But if she's already had the baby,
they've had the baby. They've had the baby because it's on the Arsenal website. But,
before anyone gets on my back about this, I meant if he's at home, if the baby's at home and she's with the mother, that's all right. But
all right. Be all right. So anyway, the back three, because he's going to play a back three instead of back four. It's going to be like David Luiz it's going to be it's going to be like Gabriel, Rob Holding, because for some reason he likes Rob Holding. I wouldn't touch him a bars, but I'll play David Luiz there. And then Kenny on the left-hand side of centre back. And then what will happen is that, for me, I would play Ainsley Maitland-Niles instead of Saka. And then in terms of like the right wing-back, for some reason, Bellerin picks himself, you know. And then the midfield, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes with Xhaka and William Bosch instead of Ceballos. Because he for some reason, he loves William Bosch da Silva. So I think that William Bosch will probably play alongside Xhaka, and then in the front three, it's going to be Aubameyang on the left hand side, probably Nketiah, and then he's probably going to give Pepe a chance. But Aubameyang will not be playing down the middle.
Why
his
not,
side.
Kenny? Why not? Why can't he play down?
Manager,
I'm going to have a row with you on this one. Yeah?
Manager
Let me speak
I
on
agree with the manager. I don't agree with everything Arteta does, but I don't want Aubameyang playing at centre forward.
90% of the time he was doing it for Dortmund.
Yeah, but for Arsenal, Claude. First, Arsenal. Let's look at Exhibit A and Exhibit B when Aubameyang has played up front for Arsenal. The Carling Cup final against Man City and the game against Wembley at Tottenham Hotspur in 2018. Both times played up front. Both times marked out the game. Couldn't hold the ball up. Couldn't play his back to goal, and we got overrun in both games. Now that's Aubameyang playing for Arsenal at centre forward. Yes, there's been successes, but in the big games, he's been a disaster. Now, when we played him up, when we played someone who could hold the ball up, and Aubameyang was getting the space, and we were moving the ball quickly, and Aubameyang was interchanging between the front three, he was scoring goals at will. 2 seasons in that position, 60 goals. 60 goals. Can't argue with that. 60 goals, league and cup goals.
But he's been sussed out. But they've sussed him down that side.
Because of the personnel. Because he's not playing. Because he's playing the wrong players in certain positions. And what's happening is that Aubameyang is out of form. He is not moving the ball. His movement's poor. He's not interchanging with the forwards, and he's not making those runs in the middle. When those crosses are coming in, he's not making those crosses. In fact, it's him who's actually putting those crosses in. So in that occasion, that's when he shakes a leg. But what we're doing at Arsenal Football Club, we are substituting, focusing on his poor form by saying, well, it's not him. He should be playing in the centre because someone else is playing there, and they're pretty poor as well. But we should be focusing on the fact that this season he's been poor. Now, there's loads of reasons why it's happened. One, he's a footballer, and footballers do have poor form. Another thing as well, wrong tactics. You say the wrong position. A lot of people are going to agree with you, Claude. No doubt about that, wrong position. But what we need to focus on is that how do we get the best out of him and how do we get the best out of the team. For me, I think the player plays his best football and enjoys playing in that sort of area. But what we need to do is that we need to get the situation where the transition of the ball is quicker. We need to get the situation. We don't want him tracking back. We've got enough cover there. We've already got a centre half that can bring the ball out, so you don't need to cover back. We've got Tierney who can tackle for his life. We don't need you there. We need you in offensive positions, making those runs. And probably that's a situation where perhaps we could have done with a Hussein or aouar in the team alongside Thomas Partey. Don't say Mesut Ozil because we've tried that. We tried everything with Mesut. We tried everything and it hasn't worked.
Yeah, but we've tried other things with other players and it hasn't worked.
Yeah, but the trouble is that we try to build a side around Mesut, and since and in the last 4 years, we haven't been in the Champions League, and Mesut, unfortunately, is a casualty of the fact that we're not in the Champions League.
But Kenny, I know where you're going. So, I thought your argument was he can't play down the middle. But if he was that successful at Dortmund, 90%, as you said, he played 90% down the middle and was successful at Dortmund, why can't he be successful at Arsenal playing down the middle?
I don't know, mate. At Dortmund are always on the front foot. They're always on the front foot, and they're always in the attack. And like I said, he's going to get his chances. At Arsenal, the way he's been getting is, unfortunately for Aubameyang, and I say unfortunately, is that since, and I say it's the greatest respects, right? And those going to agree with me, since Mesut Ozil's coming to the team and Alexis Sanchez is coming to the team, we haven't been dominating possession as much as we'd like. Now, people say that's sacrilege, but you look at the games, right? You look at Barcelona, right? Under Barcelona, we dominated possession. The transitions between the attack and and the midfield into the forwards was great. Under Barcelona, Aubameyang could play there all day long and score 50 goals a season under Barcelona. Because we're on the front foot dominating the ball. You know what I mean? And there wasn't insistent and hard work. Now under Pep, where they play Barcelona style play football, Pep will still want hard work for him. So Pep may still play him in that position. That's what I'm trying to say. But under Arsenal, where we're not dominating the ball, we like Aubameyang to be that element of surprise. Oh, where is he? Oh, he's in the middle. Boom, score goal, and it's worked. Teams are working it out, but a lot of it is to do with our managers' defensive tactics. Our manager is killing Aubameyang in terms of he's meant to build a side around Aubameyang, but he hasn't done a very good job of it. I thought getting Aubameyang to stay at the football club was about building a side around him. Well, that hasn't worked, has it, Claude?
No.
Or it's not working.
Yeah, I see there you're making some good points as well, I suppose. So that would be your team then. You would pick the 3-4-3.
100%, because I think that if we play Saka in a left wing,
I don't think Saka's going to play. You know why?
Right.
I think I know the reason he's not going to play him today. Because
he's
played 2.5 games for England. I think he might be thinking he's played too many games over the international break. He might need it. I noticed that yesterday a lot of players that played for England were left out.
Yeah, but Greece wasn't. Greece played 90 minutes for Villa.
Yeah. Apart from Grealish, I mean, there was a lot of players.
Yeah. I hear you, and I know a lot of players like Ben Chilwell said that they had injuries for England, but played a full game for played most of the game for Chelsea before he got replaced by Emerson yesterday. So I do get where you're coming from, but in a way, it's a blessing in disguise if he doesn't play, because I think that Leeds will down are too strong. Down that right-hand side.
I mean, as a young kid, he might find that all them games together and playing with the England thing, it might be too much for him to play.
I'll tell you one thing. If Bielsa had any brains, and I know he's got a lot of brains, all he needs to do is focus down our right-hand side, and we'll get murdered. If he goes down our right-hand side and builds up attacks from there and gets overlaps, we're done today. We're done, because our right-hand side is a shambles. I was astonished when Man United didn't go down our right-hand side. I was shocked. I know we played really well. We condensed and played the low block, which you don't like. But if they focused down our right-hand side, they would have murdered us.
I know his Grealish didn't get as much. Even Brighton handled Grealish better than what we handled Grealish. Yeah,
but it's down our right-hand side. That right-hand side of ours is like the Achilles heel. It's like a scene out of Aeneas and Ulysses, where Achilles is strong in every part of his body except for his heel. And Paris, like I said, he got the sting and he got the bow and arrow and caught him on his Achilles heel. Hence the term Achilles heel. That is our Achilles heel, our right-hand side. And if Leeds focus down that, we're going to be murdered.
That Lamptey yesterday, going on about Brighton. That Lamptey yesterday, what a player! Was he at Chelsea? Wasn't he?
Well, yeah, of course he was. You were at the game when they beat us 2-0, 2-1, where he came on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say, he was at Chelsea, was he? But I'm surprised they let a player like that go.
Well, the reason why they let a player like that go, because
is he on loan or is he gone there?
No, it's permanent. In fact, the reason why I let him go, because they had players like Reece James, Azpilicueta, and other players come through. His pathway's blocked. But I know a lot of Arsenal fans would like him at the football club. But you know what's going to happen? The first thing they're going to say is that because we're not going to give that poor lad protection. Because we haven't got, what we're going to do is that teams. Because you look at Brighton, right? They give that guy protection. They've got a lot of big men around him. So when the diagonal ball goes across, he doesn't have to go. They cut it out. Now, some like Arsenal, the diagonal ball, he's only about 5'4", 5'5". You know what will happen, don't you? Because Arsenal don't cut out spot danger. Teams, when he comes to us, teams are going to play the diagonal ball and then put their biggest midfielder across him, and they're going to win the header against him. That's what happened if he came to us, because we're so disorganised.
Yeah. Maybe it's not good for him. But hold on, there's another one here. No, I've done that one, haven't I? And Bagor says, "Big up, DJ." I don't know. Yeah, so there's a prediction for the game today, Kenny.
I'm going to say 2-1, but I don't know who to. Whoever scores the first goal can go on and win it. If we score the first goal, we're winning that game. If they at least score the first goal, we're going to struggle. Seriously, we'll struggle. Because simple reasons that the way we play, it basically the prerequisite is us to go 1-0 up and make ourselves difficult to beat and break down.
Yeah, and the big game, Liverpool, Leicester. Quickly go through that one.
I think Liverpool will sneak it. Liverpool, if any side with Mane in it, is a winning side for me. I think Mane is a better player than Salah. I look at Salah, and I look at him and I say to myself, thank God Mane's there with you, because Mane's unplayable. Salah.
You said that Leicester will cause them problems at the back.
Of course they will cause them problems. Of course they'll cause them problems at the back.
I can see a draw in this game, Kenny. I can actually see a draw in this game.
I can only see Liverpool winning it because of the Mane's factor, and because Jota can't stop scoring, and because they'll find a way to do it. The biggest, I don't think that Alexander-Arnold won't be a great miss, but the biggest, if Robertson don't play, they've got a problem, because Robertson's still making those runs down the left-hand side. He's still putting those crosses in, whereas Alexander-Arnold is concentrating more defensively, and he isn't putting those crosses in like he was doing last season. Robertson still maintaining his form from last season. So if Mane and Robertson have played, and I still think Liverpool have got the firepower to win that game. If Firmino's still holding up the ball, if they get Fabinho back as well in midfield, I can see carnage for Leicester. I think where Leicester were going to win it. It depends on Tielemans because he's probably their most bet player, and then obviously another as well. They've got Castagna, but remember Pereira's come back as well. They missed him.
Yeah, a lot of the players are back now. They're going to.
What Liverpool need to do is cut the out ball. Jamie Vardy's always going to play on that shoulder. If you can cut the supply off to him and make him come back into midfield, then that's Leicester's attack gone. And another thing they've got to watch out is cut off the supply at RV Barnes. RV Barnes is just as dangerous as Jamie Vardy, if not more, because he actually creates, because he makes those runs, it creates space for Vardy.
Anyway, everyone, thank you. Cheers, Kenny. Kenny, thank you very much, so much for coming on this morning. I really appreciate it, mate. I know it was late notice again, but you're always there for me, and thank you. I really appreciate it.
Look. There's nothing better on a Sunday morning but discuss the Arsenal, especially when we got a game today. One of these days, let's face it, Claude, right? Lockdown is going to be with us for quite a while. So what will happen is that with match days, it's going to be hard for on match day. It's going to be hard for us to get together on a Sunday because we're getting ready to go to the match, even if we do it at 11:30. But what's happening right now is that we should make the use of this lockdown. There's so many opportunities to do loads of shows because fans ain't going to be allowed in. Let's not kid ourselves, right? We're not going to have full crowds this season. You know it and I know it. They're talking about a vaccine, but a vaccine, getting people vaccinated as early as next month. But that's going to trickle down. And then with what's happening, they're going to let 1,000 fans in. The only teams that are going to benefit from that are going to be the lower leagues and non-leagues things that need the money.
Hold on, Kenny. If you've got the vaccine, then there's no way. There's no way they can stop.
It doesn't work like that because what's happening right now, they've still got to do test effects. Because what's happening right now is that even if you've got the vaccine, that you're still going to want to clean the stadiums and cleanse it. You're still going to want people staggered in because, there's always going to be one person who won't take the vaccine. You know what I mean? And then, you know, what they're talking about now, they're talking about certificates where basically what you need to do is that if you test yourself twice a week and both tests come back negative, then you're allowed to have a certificate or an app on your phone confirming you've got that. Therefore, you don't have to wear a mask. So you can lead a normal life as possible, and that you can basically mix with other households. That's another sort of
hold on a minute. Hold on. If you're clear and you're clear of it, you can still, if you don't have the mask on, surely you can still catch it, though, couldn't you?
Well, the thing about it, right, is that what they're looking at is two things. Obviously, the vaccine, but what they want people to do is do regular test and trace. If you do regular test and trace, then then what will happen is that what we need. I think what they're trying to do, right, is that the government are trying to look at areas where it's more about prevention, but with every part of the population, there's going to be thousands, millions of people who haven't got the virus, haven't got the symptoms, and probably never going to get the symptoms. Yet they're being locked down and protected when they probably don't need protection. So what they're looking at is other ways, i.e., test and trace. We test you twice a week. If you're exempt after those 2 tests during that week, then you get that exemption. Then you can lead a normal life as possible. So they're offering that kind of nugget as well as the vaccine, because there's a lot of people who won't take the vaccine, but will still take vaccinations to go to hot countries on holiday for 2 or 3 weeks, but they won't take the vaccine to let us have a normal life. But they want a normal life without taking a vaccine. If you could put that in the machine and see what comes out of it. But that's what we're having nowadays, is that we live in a liberal world where people feel that their liberties are being taken from them because of this lockdown.
Yeah. Do you think it'll get extended?
What, the lockdown? Well, I think it will get extended for the simple reason is that I think I think we're going to have we're going to be in tears. Then Christmas we're going to have the 5 days, and I think from January 2nd, I think it's either going to be a normal. They're going to look at the figures, and if they feel there's going to be a splurge because of the winter, because we're still within our winter, then I think from the month of January there's going to be a lockdown again. And then February, where they say it gets into February, late February, March, spring, they're going to think, right, maybe that time people might have taken the vaccine, or they might start taking the vaccine, and then they'll start getting normal. But whatever happens, that everyone's looking to get back to normal by this time next year.
Yeah.
By hook or crook.
Never mind. Everyone in the chat, thank you very much. Enjoy the game this afternoon. I think there's one going on at the moment. I don't know what the score is.
It's Fulham Everton.
Is it still 0-0?
I haven't checked. I've been talking to you.
No, well, sometimes you have the telly on in the background. That's all I was just...
No, not at all. I wanted to make sure that this show is done as professionally as possible.
Anyway, Kenny, have a lovely day. Let's hope that Arsenal can come back to winning ways. You know, we do want to. By the way, believe it or not, I know a lot of people are saying the likes of me want us to lose and all this shit.
No, we don't.
I love my football club more than anything. You know what I mean? I could never want my club to lose, and this crap that's coming out from certain people, absolutely disgusting, and should be ashamed of themselves.
May I say, Claude? Obviously, you want to end the show because you've got to go and get something to eat. The problem we've got Arsenal is that we got a lot of fans who support the club like juveniles. It's like we all agree Arsenal are magic, Liverpool are tragic, Tottenham are tragic, so are Chelsea too. And that means you can't say anything. You can't be upset when we lose. You can't be critical of the manager when you think he's making the right decisions. You must support Arsenal that way, or you get expelled from the fan base. I've been expelled from the fan base, so have you, and so have a few others, because we've dared to question the manager and reaffirm our view that he wasn't the right appointment and that we wanted someone with more experience, i.e. Mourinho. So for that, we weren't even given a hearing. We were just told, get out, you're expelled, you're finished. And that's what's happened.
Well, Well, they don't speak for me. They don't represent me, and they don't represent the football club. We've all got individual rights, as I said earlier. We've all got individual rights to support the team the way we want to support the team. And if we want to support our team in a certain way, we support it. If we want to criticise, we criticise. At the end of the day, these people, every player, manager, is an employee of the football club.
Thank you very much.
They are paid to do a job, right?
And they're not actually fans of the club as well. Some of them weren't born Arsenal fans. Tony Adams was a West Ham fan. So was Ray Parlour. So was Jack Wilshere. You know what I mean?
I won't have Parlour telling me anyway, that's for sure. I won't have Ray Parlour. Yeah.
Ian Wright supported West Ham. Ian Wright supported West Ham as a kid, or was it Millwall? One of the clubs. Either way, he didn't grow up an Arsenal supporter. Neither did David Rocastle. He's a Palace fan. It's one of the things. They're employees of the club. They grow to love the club because of the way the fans treat them and the way the fans receive them. We've embraced them, and they become supporters, but they're not born supporters.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, that's how we want to. We appreciate how we do. This is how we do things. Listen, everyone in the chat, have a lovely day. Take care, everyone. Bye for now. Come on, you Gunners!